What's up, internet? I just got the Platinum Trophy in the Until Dawn Remaster, and boy do I gotta tell you, it was an amazing time. As someone that got the Platinum back on the PS4 version years ago, I was super excited to revisit this masterpiece of a horror experience, and I'm excited to share my journey about earning it today with you all. It is a bit different from the original list and contains 29 trophies including the Platinum Trophy versus 19 overall trophies on the original list. With all that said, let's repack our snow gear and get ready to hunt some trophies. Our story begins with a group of recent high school graduates going up to a cabin owned by Josh, Hannah, and Beth's parents. They're up there doing what most young adults do best, and that's to party, baby. They come up with an elaborate prank to trick this girl Hannah into thinking that Mike, another person in the group, likes her and wants to spend some alone time with her, despite having a girlfriend. Hannah, after realizing it's a prank, runs out of the cabin in embarrassment into the cold, stormy night,
Hannah!
with her sister Beth eventually following her, trying to find her.
Oh my god, you must be freezing.
They end up reuniting and getting chased by something unknown, only to get cornered on the top of a cliff, and despite a stranger grabbing for our hand, I decide to let go of Hannah, and failing to grab the stranger's hand as well, so we both fall to our death. We'll revisit this exact scene later in the video, but for now, we get a cutscene of Hannah and Beth dying and get our first trophy titled, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Flash forward 1 year later, and we get an invite from Josh inviting us back up to the cabin yet again, totally trying to play off the awkwardness that took place last year. Chapter 1 mostly consists of all the characters reuniting for the first time since the event, and managing to get them all back up to the cabin, which involves taking a cable car all the way up to the mountain. We get brief introductions to every character. We get Sam, who is Hannah's best friend, and Chris, who is Josh's best friend, going paired up to the cabin. Matt and Emily are paired, who are dating.
You ever done it outside before?
And Mike and Jess can't even keep it in their pants as they're trying to make snow angels.
Okay, that sounds vaguely dirty.
As everyone starts getting situated in the cabin, Josh starts to work on getting a fire started to keep everyone warm. But that won't be needed right now as Emily immediately comes in and starts stoking the flames with her now ex Mike and his new girlfriend Jessica. We get a good old-fashioned catfight with some classic name calling such as
Skanky ass.
or the classic lines,
That bitch is on crack or something.
Matt, defending his boo thing, gets in on the confrontation, and we get our second trophy of the game for having both Matt and Emily start separate confrontations in the lodge. So, I'll do my best not to bother you all too much with story stuff, but I'll casually break down what happens each chapter as we get there while we're getting these trophies. After the fight, Mike and Jess work their way to the cabin to have some alone time, while Sam and Josh work on getting the boiler working so Sam can enjoy a hot bath.
Josh.
Matt and Emily leave the cabin after their confrontation with the group because Emily forgot one of her bags back at the cable car station. In terms of Chapter 3, Josh, Ashley, and Chris try to communicate with a Ouija board and are told by Hannah's spirit to go to the library for more information on what happened to her and Beth. Matt and Jessica finally make it to their cabin after getting scared by a deer getting dragged into the abyss, and before being able to get comfortable and get their freak on, Jessica does her best magic trick and vanishes out of the door, getting grabbed by something. Back with Chris and Ashley, they both are trying to figure out more information on what could have happened to Hannah and Beth before being knocked out by someone in a clown mask. Chapter 4 immediately starts with Mike running out of the guest cabin trying to chase Jessica. These are the first choices in the game where your decisions can impact if someone lives or dies in the game. Since I played the game in the past and it wasn't a blind playthrough, I decided this would be my Everyone Lives All Collectibles playthrough, so the best choices in this segment are to take the fastest paths and take risks while succeeding in all the QTEs. This ensures that Jessica lives for now, but the two remain separated for the remainder of the game. After regaining his consciousness, Chris looks around for Ashley before finding her and Josh tied up to a machine. He now has to make a life-altering choice in choosing between whether Ashley or Josh gets to live, between that of his crush and his best friend. Now I'll let you all in on the secret. It doesn't matter who you pick in this instance, the saw will go to Josh's side no matter what.
No, Dad, don't look at you.
What can I look for? Please tell me he's okay, please.
Chapter 5 starts with Mike going and following who he thinks is Jessica's killer into a sanatorium, and Matt and Emily go and look to call for help at a radio tower.
No cable car. So, back to square one.
Sam finally gets her hot bath that she has been waiting for since arriving at the cabin. Lacking clothes, we go to look for our friends in the cabin before running into this creepy motherfucker. We decide to run from the Psycho, and with the power of the strongest towel wrap in the world, quick feet, and successful QTE mashing, we successfully evade the killer and get our third trophy of the playthrough so far. In Chapter 6, we take over as Matt and Emily, still working their way up to the radio tower before encountering a group of deer. Now, I didn't decide to have this death this playthrough, but you can actually die here if you decide to attack the deer and fail some QTEs. And I gotta say, it's probably the dumbest way a character can die in this entire game. If you have another chance to watch it, I highly recommend it, because it's pretty entertaining. But we're just gonna calmly go through the middle of the herd to get to where we need to go. Finally climbing the tower and restoring the power, Matt and Emily call out to a ranger and plead for help, but due to a storm in the area, they can only break through a few words here and there to the rangers. The rangers state that they will arrive with a rescue team, but it won't be until dawn. And just like that, we roll the credits and the game is over.
The old man,
It's at this point, shit starts to hit the fan as something outside cuts one of the support lines of the radio tower, and the tower comes crashing down with Matt and Emily still inside it. They both miraculously survive, but Matt has the tough choice of trying to save his girlfriend or jump to safety. There are repercussions for trying to save Emily if you don't have a certain item, so we're gonna jump to safety to ensure that both of us survive. Meanwhile, Ashley, who's with Chris, both run into and get captured by the Psycho, but not before I'm able to stab him with a pair of scissors I found earlier, which gives me my fourth trophy of the playthrough, properly named the Psychopath. They shortly wake up tied to some chairs with more saw blades above them, and Chris has to decide whether to shoot himself or Ashley with a planted gun next to him. Now, if you decide to shoot Ashley, it guarantees that Chris dies later in the game, and I'm trying to make everyone live in this playthrough, sillies, so I decide for Chris to shoot himself. Back over to Sam, where she's still not dressed for the occasion, finds a snow globe, and we have to shake it for a trophy. Other than that, Sam and Mike reunite, and they walk into the same room where Chris and Ashley are tied up in the exact same time that the Psycho walks in, who then reveals himself to be Josh this whole time. This not only unlocks a shocking discovery, but also our sixth trophy of the game. You want to know what's even more surprising than Josh being the killer? The fact that Emily is still alive. She manages to survive the radio tower dropping just by hanging out. She manages to swing herself to safety. And she also manages to run into this creepy looking dude with a flamethrower, who isn't actually evil, but we decide to make a break for it anyways. But you know what we do run into that is creepy and also evil? This motherfucking Wendigo. After making multiple successful choices, we escape the scary creature, but not before getting bit by it. It's at this time that Emily finally reunites with the group, and they are worried that she may turn into a Wendigo after being bitten. Ashley in the group is adamant that she leaves for the safety of the group, and Mike has the opportunity to shoot her in this scene, which we decide not to do since I'm trying to keep everyone alive. Mike then decides to leave to try to find Josh, who he assumes has the cable car key so they can escape the mountain, and Ashley finds a diary stating that people bitten by the Wendigo do not turn into one themselves, and it's only when you resort to cannibalism that you can turn into one of these creatures. Emily shows just how grateful she is by giving Ashley a good old smack in the face, which gives us yet another trophy. Now, the rest of Chapter 8 is mostly just filler because it has Mike going through the sanatorium and into the mines to try to find Josh, and in the midst of this, we pick up a collectible which unlocks 2 trophies for us. One for finding all the new interactables in the remastered game, and another for picking up this specific figurine, as well as keeping a wolf alive that you can befriend in the sanatorium, and also escaping with Mike, which already puts our trophy total up to 11 with those 4 quick unlocks. Our story finally cuts back to Jess, who's waking up after being knocked out, and there's not too much to share in this part of the story at this moment, except for the fact that we finally get closure that Mike saved her earlier in the game. In this case, we get yet another trophy. Ashley, Emily, Chris, and Sam, who are all now together, decide to go down into a storm drain and try to get back to the cabin, and while there isn't too much to share here either, we'll revisit this part later on, so keep this in mind. This is going to be on the test.
Hey, we should close this, right?
And just like that, we're on to Chapter 10, aka the final chapter, and also everything and everything could go wrong. Mike and Sam, who recently reunited, finally find Josh in the mine, and he's just kind of talking to himself.
He's tripping or something. Josh!
We do find a journal as well before meeting up with Josh, and we come to learn that it belongs to Hannah, which rewards us with a trophy for finding all the clues about the twins. Sam decides to split and go tell the others that they're all okay, and as the two guys are leaving the mines, Josh gets confronted by a Wendigo, who we learn is Hannah. There's a few different outcomes in this exact spot, but on this playthrough, Hannah takes Josh and drags him away. Also playing as Sam making her way back to the cabin, we get a trophy for getting all 36 of the totems that are scattered throughout the mountain. Okay, so we finally make it back to the cabin, and just with a little bit of time left before dawn, Sam and Mike run into Chris, Ashley, and Emily, or dare I say, they run into Mike and Sam as they're being chased by Wendigos. There's a lot that can go wrong here, but if you choose to wait every single time and succeed in all of your do not move skill checks, you're not only rewarded with everyone in the cabin living, but also quite a bit of trophy hardware here. Upon completing this playthrough, I got 3 trophies right here. One for completing the game for the first time, the second for having all 8 friends survive until dawn, and the third for not hurting any wildlife on the mountain, which there are a few instances where you can kick or shoot an animal throughout the game, but being peaceful with the wildlife rewards us with our 17th trophy. And alright, that's the game. We're officially into cleanup time here with 10 more trophies left, not including the platinum. There's a few collectibles I missed among a few other random Easter egg trophies. So first off, going through the chapter select and playing the prologue again, when confronted to either drop Hannah or let go of the branch, refusing to take the stranger's hand, choosing the opposite choice that you made originally, rewards you with a trophy from Josh's therapist that you see occasionally in between chapters. This gives us a trophy called Fatal Destination for trying to change the past despite Dr. Hill's warning.
You will always find a way to work through it.
Next step, we revisit the sanatorium as Mike, and there's this little hand sticking out of this wooden crate that you can interact with, and if you decide to interact with it, Mike gets some of his fingers caught in a bear trap. With a machete we find right before this moment, we can choose to try and open up the bear trap or slice his fingers clean off. And if you attempt to open the bear trap multiple times, it will keep breaking the machete until you have to saw Mike's fingers off instead of slicing them clean off. Successfully doing this rewards us with a trophy properly titled, Saw That Coming. After that one, I had to go back to a section where I wandered around as Sam and found out some background info on Josh and the struggles he's been going through since losing his sisters. I had to reread this document in full as some of the collectibles that you interact with will have to flip through pages, and it seemed a little buggy to me. But after picking up Josh's phone and scrolling through his conversation with his therapist, we get a gold trophy for having the group find all the clues about the mystery man, aka Josh. Next on our list is replaying a scene with Emily. Earlier in the game when you're at the radio tower, you can find a flare gun as Emily and decide to keep it for yourself or give it to Matt. He will either shoot it or keep it for himself depending on a choice that you made earlier. So I decided to play it safe and keep it with Emily. As she's being chased by a Wendigo trying to escape the mines, she has an opportunity to shoot the flare at one of the Wendigos, assuming she has the flare gun. Successfully getting the prompt rewards us with a trophy and avoids Emily getting bitten. And finally, my friends, some trophies tied into people dying. As you're playing as Chris, there's a scene where he can die if he attempts to shoot Ashley in the Psycho's game from earlier. This will make Ashley hesitate as she tries to open up the door while Chris is being chased. This will lead to his death and give us our first death-related trophy called Nightmare on Ash Street.
Oh my... Oh, Jesus Christ.
At the same area where Emily can slap Ashley after learning that you can't turn into a Wendigo from being bitten, there's another collectible trophy I got here because it seemed like it was bugged out on me again. Fully flipping through the pages and waiting a moment or two before flipping again got me the trophy for finding all the clues related to the 1952 timeline, which is where miners got stuck in the mountains for a few weeks but miraculously survived. So, do y'all remember when I talked about going into the storm drain before? Well, this is where we can get yet another trophy. Ashley or Chris can be in this situation, and if you decide to investigate the noise that you hear when you get separated from the group, there's a trapdoor that you can hear Jess screaming from, except it's not really Jess, it's a motherfucking Wendigo. If you decide to open it, Ashley will die, and, well, I'm sorry, Ashley, but I need it for a trophy, dang it. The trophy is called You Let the Wrong One In. With 2 survivors dead now and plenty to go, I have Emily make some bad choices that she couldn't see coming. Followed by Jessica and Matt dying for not being able to stay still. Sam dies from trying to save Mike, but maybe she should have turned her flashlight off? And Mike dies shortly after by flicking his lighter with a gas leak. With all of the survivors dead in this playthrough, this gives me the 25th trophy named This Is the End. Once I completed the Everyone Dies playthrough, it was time to start over at Chapter 8 again, and once again letting everyone die except for Matt and Jessica. I can intentionally let everybody else die, and if I'm able to stay still during Matt and Jess's section, and hide with Jess instead of having her leave on her own, they both survive until dawn, giving me another trophy. Okay, so 2 more left. One of them I got off stream, but all I had to do was simply take a bad selfie early on in Chapter 2 with Mike and Jessica, as they're making their way to the guest cabin. This is really easy to do, so that gave me trophy number 27. But now, my friends, this is, without a doubt, the biggest pain in the ass of the whole game, and one that almost made me give up on the platinum altogether. You see, this game does have a new alternate ending for Josh that's considered a good ending. In the original game, he would either turn into a Wendigo or he would get killed by Hannah in her Wendigo form. In the remaster, though, they've given you a brand new ending, and you also get rewarded with a trophy for earning that ending. The problem comes purely from the fact that this trophy is extremely inconsistent in the proper method and how to unlock it. For the sake of not drowning you guys in all the nonsense and just getting straight to the trophy, there are very specific prompts that you have to pick during Josh's therapy sessions in between each chapter. The problem is, upon doing all these, is some people have had success getting the trophy and others haven't. And this literally doubled my playtime to earn the platinum from this single trophy alone. Now, I'm telling you, I tried replaying from specific chapters. I tried replaying from the very beginning of the game. I tried minor choices in between the chapters outside of specific prompts that Josh has to make in his therapy sessions. But I could not seem to find an answer. I finally gave someone's advice a shot online and attempted to just completely erase my save file that I originally made and just start a fresh save and play from beginning to end yet again. And it actually somehow worked. An extra 15 hours of trying just to make the single trophy pop, and boy, do I gotta tell you, it was a great feeling in the end. With that true Josh ending revealed where he is saved in the mines, still a human, that gives us the ever so sweet trophy pop titled We Need to Talk About Josh, and the platinum trophy as well. Once again, Until Dawn had 29 trophies. That comes to 13 bronze, 9 silver, 6 gold, and of course that sweet, beautiful platinum trophy. In total, it took me 31 hours, over double what the estimate was, all because of that stinking Josh True Ending trophy, which gives us a ratio of 0.94 trophies per hour, and since this is the inaugural episode, that's a career best. My award for the best trophy goes to the Skillful Wolfman, which is unlocked by keeping the wolf safe, playing as Mike in the sanatorium. This is a very satisfying trophy to get if you know nothing about this game going into it, and it's pretty surprising as well, with just the right amount of tough decision making to make, which makes it feel earned and is appreciated. You may have already guessed it, but the award for the worst trophy goes to We Need to Talk About Josh for getting his true ending. It is absolutely baffling to me that you recreate this game and then give an additional ending, but make it damn near impossible to unlock, not only for trophy hunters, but for people just casually playing. As much as I love this game and all the games similar to this from these developers, they quickly lose their charm, and let me tell you, if you have to replay the game over and over and over like I did, literally 5 or 6 times, they lose their charm incredibly quickly. But hey, that's the life of a trophy hunter, and I'm glad I toughed it out for you guys. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I provided some good insight and entertainment for you guys. And if I did, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed for future videos down the road. If you also want to watch me complete these games live, I stream over on Twitch. I'll leave the link in the description. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and happy hunting.